Part 3 I ended due to extreme interference on Isaiah 13. I'm going to start from there. Okay, remember, this book is not for... The true message of this book is only for those who obey God through me. Everyone else is playing a silly game. Okay, and this will prove it to a T. All right, Isaiah 13, a prophecy against Babylon. A prophecy against Babylon that Isaiah, son of Amos, saw. Raise a banner on a bare hilltop. Shout to them, beckon to them to enter the gates of the nobles. The nobles, those who do what is morally precise, righteous, holy. Not anyone who goes to church or anyone who's, following the government and so on and so forth, but the people who are truly noble, not rich or so on and so forth, but righteous. I have commanded those I prepared for battle. I have summoned my warriors to carry out my wrath, those who rejoice in my triumph, those who rejoice in the martial art victory of God, to martial to order, martial and marital, true love, not the marriages you see in the world except for my parents, which are invalid, but true love, right? True marriage. True love derived from justice in the divine order. Okay? So I have commanded those I prepared for battle. I've summoned my warriors to carry out my wrath, those who rejoice in my triumph. This is for warriors. Exodus 15:3, the Lord is the warrior, the Lord is his name. Revelation 19, the heavenly warrior defeats the beast. This is for warriors, not for nerds or frats or cops or military, but people who are warriors for God, who put God first in the divine order, who obey God through me, the gates, the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, the gate. 4, listen, a noise on the mountains like that of a great multitude. Listen, an uproar among the kingdoms like nations amassing together. The Lord Almighty is mustering an army for war, spiritually. They come from faraway lands, from the ends of the heavens. Again, from the ends of the heavens. The Lord and the weapons of his wrath to destroy the whole country. So he's going to destroy them spiritually. This is spiritual warfare, not armies of this world and things like that. 6, wail, for the day of the Lord is near. It will come like destruction from the Almighty. Because of this, all hands will go limp. Every heart will melt with fear. So again, the hands going limp is associated with homosexuals, the particular type that are sissy and refuse to man up. Of course, homosexuality is a sin according to the Bible, and they have that right. Okay. So because of this, all hands will go limp. Every heart will melt with fear. Terror will seize them. Pain and anguish will grip them. And they will writhe like a woman in labor. They will look aghast at each other, their faces aflame. So again, they're going to be acting like a particular kind of pedo homosexual refusing to man up. This is key because the Greco-Roman system is that. It is pederasty, it is pedophilia, it is orgies, it is pagan nonsense and materialism and nonsense like that, secularism and what have you. 9, see, the day of the Lord is coming, a cruel day with wrath and fierce anger to make the land desolate and destroy the sinners within it. Okay, so again, they're destroyed spiritually. Okay, they aren't necessarily destroyed with their flesh. Okay, they're going to die one day and live in eternal disgrace in the lake of fire. But they're weaklings, they're mental weaklings, they're afraid to man up, they're sissies, they're playing stupid psychological games instead of being men and women. They're dating with a kind of sissy, kind of Britney Spears kind of scale, kind of ninny scale, and the equivalents of it in their respective cultures. 11, the stars of heaven and the constellations will not show their light. They will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. Okay, again, they're not supposed to persecute me. Okay, that naturally happens as people rebel against me. What they perceive to be going on is that that there isn't any holiness, or there's less holiness, and they're basically right because everyone's rebelling and they're rebelling more and more. Okay, I will put an end to the arrogance of the haughty and will humble the pride of the ruthless. I will make people scarcer than pure gold, more rare than pure gold of Ophir. Okay, I went over this last time. Okay, Psalm 45. Okay, the bride in gold, the gold of Ophir. Okay, it is spiritual kind of worth, spiritual wealth. Okay. 13. Therefore I make the heavens tremble, and the earth will shake from its place at the wrath of the Lord Almighty in the day of his burning anger. Like a hunted gazelle, like sheep without a shepherd, they will all return to their own people. They will flee to their native land. Okay, so they return to the root of their cultures. What their native land is not, say you're a black American. Your native land isn't necessarily America or Africa, it is the root of the culture that you're in. Whoever is captured will be thirst through. All who are caught will fall by the sword. Their mighty will be dashed to pieces with their before their eyes. Their mighty will be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be looted and their wives violated. Okay? Defiled, made worthless. Okay? So spiritually, they're going to be reduced to people who are not men and women, and that's what we see going on today. Okay, and people playing contrast games to take advantage of the massive eugenicist sabotage going on are the least manly and the least womanly of them. Okay, they're saying, hey, look at me. Look at how developed my body is. Look at my money. Look at my corporate position. All this stuff, it's immature. 17, see, I will stir against them the Medes who do not care for silver and have no delight in gold. Their bows will strike down the young men. They will have no mercy on the infants, nor will they look with compassion on the children. So men, women, and children are being made scum. Is it smart to reproduce? No. Are people irresponsible, horrible, sick, demented parents when they reproduce? Yes. 19, Babylon, the jewel of kingdoms, the pride and glory of the Babylonians will be overthrown by God. Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Basically, Babylon, the queen city of Babylon, the pride and joy of the Babylonians, the prostitute, the rise of the beast, the essence of what the beast sold out for. There's a lot of ways to describe it. Okay. Like Sodom and Gomorrah will be overthrown by God. She will never be inhabited or lived in through all generations. There, no nomads will pitch tents. There, no shepherds will have their flocks, basically. But desert creatures will live there. Jackals will fill their houses. There the owls will dwell, and the wild goats will leap about. It's like the Baphomet, right? It's what they're saying is only evil people will live there. Okay? Hyenas will inhabit her strongholds, jackals, her luxurious places. Her time is at hand, and her days will not be prolonged. Okay, so she's going to fall, never to rise again. Okay, this is a recurring theme in Isaiah, that people are going to be spiritually destroyed, and only dumbasses will keep reproducing. Okay, it's clear cut. Isaiah 14:5, so that's Isaiah 13. So it makes it clear that people aren't going to be having sex anymore. They're only going to be raped because they're living rape by deception, and the spirits of rape by deception. It's like a bunch of people raping in a war, and you take on their spirit, and you have sex in marriage with the spirit of raping people, being colonial rape, what have you. And therefore, you're not, you're violating your wives. They're violating themselves to some degree. But, the guys are supposed to be the smart ones that lead the women. They're supposed to be the head of the household, so on and so forth. So when they fucking marry these women, it's like they're raping them. So they're being violated. And the souls of their offspring are being torn to pieces. That's what it's getting at here. Okay? When we go back to say, well, how do you know that? Let me go back to this other note where it talks about how I started this video, where it talks about God summoning an army from the heavens. Okay? It says, raise a banner on a bare hilltop, shout to them, beckon to them to enter the gates of the nobles. I've commanded those I prepared for battle. I've summoned my warriors to carry out my wrath, those who rejoice in my triumph. Listen to noise in the mountains, like that of a great multitude. Listen in an uproar among the kingdoms, like nations amassing together. Lord Almighty is mustering an army for war. They come from the faraway lands, from the ends of the heavens, the Lord and the weapons of his wrath to destroy the whole country. This is spiritual, right? The holy mountain, Mount Zion, in the spiritual realm. Okay. Isaiah 14:5. The Lord has broke the rod of the wicked, the scepter of rulers, which in anger struck down the peoples. That guy just passed by. So, which in anger struck down the peoples with unceasing blows, and in fury subdued nations with relentless aggression. This is the plan determined for the whole world. This is the hand stretched out over all the nations. So again, remember, just talked about the destruction of Babylon, and now in Isaiah 14, that was Isaiah 13. Isaiah 14, it says the destruction of Babylon is determined for the whole world. Every marriage on the planet, all dating, every life is ill-gotten gains. Every gain is ill-gotten gains. Every marriage is an abomination. Every childbirth is an abomination to God. This is the plan determined for the whole world. This is the hand stretched out over all nations. For the Lord has purposed, and who can thwart him? His hand is stretched out, and who can turn it back? Okay, so again, my martial art victory is God's victory extended through me through the gates. Okay, and when they refuse to obey me, it's like when you jump off a cliff, you're going to die. I don't need to grab you by the neck and smash you on the rocks. You're going to die. Okay, now if you're a dumbass who puts your soul before your flesh, okay, you're going to side with the dickheads who fucking jump off a cliff spiritually, and they're going to burn in hell forever. And the dumbest of them, so to speak, reproduce and have kids who follow in their footsteps. And they all burn in hell together and live in extreme, extreme disgrace. Think about the colonialists. They took over the world, or so much of the world, but look at the extreme disgrace in which they live in. They indulge in blood money and propaganda as their governments instead of truth. They live in extreme disgrace. Now imagine that disgrace before God. Unbearably stupid is what they are. A prophecy against the Philistines. This prophecy came in the year King Ahaz died. This is verse 28, by the way. So we're going down, we're continuing actually going, so we started off Isaiah 14:5, and then we skipped to, I guess we skipped to 26 at one point. This is the plan determined, so on and so forth. So 28. This prophecy came in the year of King Ahaz died. Do not rejoice, you Philistines, that the rod that struck you is broken. From the root of that snake will spring a viper. Its fruit will be a darting venomous serpent. The poorest of the poor will find pasture, and the needy will lie down in safety. But your rich I will destroy by famine. It will slay your survivors. Is that what it says? But you're rich. Wail, you gate, howl, you city, melt away, all you Philistines. A cloud of smoke comes from the north, and there is not a straggler in its ranks. So basically, it's saying that they're going to use the neo-colonialists, the globalists, the West especially, okay, to do the devil's work. So again, I've described this many times in my video about the clouds. Above the cloud is the sun, which is the symbol of the bridegroom, the symbol of the idea that David's family, David's spiritual family is superimposed on. The house of David, the tent of David, okay? The parable of 10 minas, parable of the bag of gold, puts me above everyone else. I'm the top martial artist ever. The Lord is a warrior. He summons the spirits of warriors in the spiritual realm. Isaiah 13 and Exodus 15:3. Okay? So the Son, which I am the pinnacle of those who lived on earth, okay, I'm the Son of God, okay, is above the cloud. Below the cloud are rape cult. The snake is a symbol of a phallic symbol. Its poison is the semen. They're poison kids. Their kids are a brood of viper. They're the poison from their semen-filled dicks. They're poison-filled dicks, rather, okay? So it's a phallic symbol. It's a symbol of the devil. It's a symbol of evil and poisoning at the same time. So it says a cloud of smoke comes from the north, and there's not a straggler in the round. So Jesus is on top of the cloud. The devil's below. We see in Revelation the devil's allowed to rampage through the world and so on and so forth and chase the woman, right? The woman and the dragon, and the 1,000-year reign, and the devil being unleashed and knowing his time is short and on the rampage. Okay, so that is the ancient serpent, the devil, who leads the world astray. Okay, it is the spirit of neocolonialism. It's proven, proof positive. So the hand of martial arts schools that are allowed in this world, of military, of police, of militia, etc. Every group that's allowed, every group that has, more than one person, every dickhead who is outside the divine order, who doesn't obey God through me, who takes on a war kind of path, is doing the hand of the devil that God allows as part of the test, but it's going to punish them to the extreme forever for sinking to the stupid, pathetic, despicable level of following the devil, and many of them are dumb enough to have kids and lead them down their path. Just complete idiots. It is a profound insult that they try to pretend that I'm not the best martial artist ever, and it's a profound insult that they try to teach me and try to tell me what to do.